First things first, Happy New Year. I'm so excited that we all made it safely into 2025, and we obviously all want this year to be remarkable, but that will not simply happen on its own. It means that we have to be intentional about actually making it super phenomenal. So, in this video, I'm going to speak about love languages. Relationships really determine the quality of our lives. So if we don't fully understand how to navigate them in a way that is prosperous, then that is a problem, because that means the entire trajectory of your life is going to be a struggle, because relationships are everywhere. You have work relationships, you have family relationships, friends, social, everything, right? So if we want to actually improve how we feel about our lives, that means we really need to hone in on that aspect. So in this video, you would thoroughly understand how you can drastically improve your relationships through simply implementing the concept of love languages in a very tactful and skillful way. So you just buckle up, I'll be here, and we'll see all of the answers that we've been waiting for.
It's my dream, there are no lies. It's cold and dark, just like ice. I'm inside it, left alone.
Okay, so let's start with basics. What are the 5 love languages? We've got acts of service, gifts, words of affirmation, physical touch, and quality time. So those are the 5 love languages that we all have. It doesn't mean that one person specifically has one love language and that's like their only love language. Actually, we will generally have all of them, but the difference is that we're all gonna have like different extents of each love language. For instance, my main or primary love language is acts of service. So no matter how much quality time you spend with me, no matter how many words you say to me, if I have a problem and that problem is not solved, I still won't feel loved. So it's something I had to accept for myself, that okay, this is my primary love language. So if that's sorted out, then it's easier for me to be open to other love languages. So if someone has done acts of service for me, then I'm gonna want to spend time with them. Or I'm going to find that their gifts more valuable. I'm going to appreciate their words more and take them more seriously. That's just me. So I still want all that to be shown love in all the other love languages, but that has to be the first thing that one has to do in order to actually be someone of value to me, myself. And I feel like God does a really good job in that department. That's why he's got mad. So, okay. So for yourself, you have to understand what your primary love language is, and you have to be able to know how to communicate that to other people. Because the thing is, if we don't communicate what we want from other people, people are naturally going to continue to give us what they think or what they assume we want. And often it's their love language that they will assume that you want. So for instance, if my friend's love language is quality time, they are naturally going to be inclined to also believe that, for me to show Sam love, I have to spend quality time with her. Because that's how my friend wants to be loved. She can assume that that's also how I receive love, which is a grave misunderstanding. So she'll end up just continuing to try to give me quality time. But to me, it's like, yeah, that's your love language, not mine. So naturally, we tend to give people the love that we want. We tend to show people the love language that is ours, instead of actually studying what their specific love language is. So that's exactly that's exactly where things go wrong. So I've seen this time and time again. Like if someone's love language is gifts, they will continue to give gifts to other people because that's how they feel loved. So they naturally assume that the other person also wants gifts. And then they get so upset when the other person doesn't show appreciation for the gifts. It all boils down to misunderstanding other people and being too zoomed in on what I want before we actually study what other people want. So in order to drastically improve our relationships, it's very simple, guys. Never assume, all right? Never assume. You can be a detective, you know. You don't have to ask everything, but just practicing the art of noticing, the art of observing. You can start to actually see patterns in the behavior of the people around you, like, oh, this person really loves words of affirmation, or maybe this person really loves physical touch. So when you study people and you observe them really well and you listen well to them, you naturally start to understand their love language more. And we have to be able to sacrifice what we want to give people what they want. It's our natural inclination is to give people what we want. And that's where we really have to practice social intelligence by always remembering that just because I value this does not mean the other person values it. So for me to get the appreciation that I need from the other person, I need to learn to give them what they need. And that is literally that is literally what will make relationships super successful. It's that simple. And often people try to communicate their love languages in different ways. So, for instance, people that like physical touch, you'd often hear them say something like, hold my hand, hold my hold my I'm not laughing at physical touching. I'm also physical touch. I'm just very selective about it. So it's like hold my hand, or something like that. And then people, oh, that like quality time would be like, I'm gonna spend time with you. Where are you going? They always like you to spend hours with them. So that alone are telltale signs that okay, this is what this person actually values. So truly, relationships can be beautiful. All we have to do is to be very intentional about them. So think about all the people that you feel like you've really had like a very strenuous or a friction filled relationship with. Try to observe your patterns. Have you maybe been giving them too much of what you like, or have you actually been trying to understand what they like and giving them what they say they want? So if you are unsure, the best thing is just to ask. Ask people what they want. It's really that simple. But it's even more beautiful if you just practice the art of noticing. Like give people what they want before they even tell you, and that's going to help you build so much rapport. It's going to make you so charismatic, because who doesn't appreciate someone who's good at noticing what they want? Nobody. We all do. We all really do. So the last thing I'd like to touch on that topic is that, so when it comes to love languages, often it's rooted in childhood needs as well. So for instance, if you grew up being deprived of help, like I don't know, if you felt like you really needed a lot of support from your family or friends, then you might end up growing up with that love language of acts of service. Like for instance, for me, there's many times I felt like, oh gosh, I need help. I need help. And then I didn't get that help that I needed, maybe from friends or family. So it naturally made me someone that's like inclined to be an acts of service person, whereby I appreciate someone who actually shows support to me, because it's like, oh wow, that's very helpful. This is what I've always wanted. And then for other people that I felt like, you know what, my parents never gave me quality time, my siblings didn't give me quality time, you'll see that naturally they're going to grow up being people that really want quality time, because that's the need that they were deprived of. So your love language is basically indicating to you a need that you've always had, that you want to be fulfilled. So yeah, allow people to love you the way that you want. Communicate that love language. Don't just settle, don't just be quiet, because you rob people the opportunity of actually being there for you the way that you appreciate. So we should be okay with communicating what we value, and in that way we are able to empower our relationships and make them more meaningful. So that brings me to the end of this video. If you can just put these practices into action, if you and I can implement all of these things, our relationships will be like smooth sailing. Very simple. So I'll see you in the next video. Do not forget to subscribe and like, and let me know what you guys think. Is there a person in your life who's good at showing you love in the way that you appreciate? Who is that person? And can you just send them a message of gratitude, because it's really oh, it's gold to find people that are able to love you the way that you appreciate to be loved. So say thank you to that person. Do not forget to also love people the way that they want to be loved. And this concept actually applies across the board, even when you're selling, when you're doing business, especially for guys in sales and marketing. You can't give people what you want. You have to learn to give people what they want. That's why there's things like studying the market, understanding what the market needs, and then giving, supplying what is being demanded. So the person that is good at supplying what the market is demanding, that is the person that will succeed. I hope that we can be those people this year across every aspect of our lives. See you.